Hello, hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is How. Daily, I bring you a new way to see the world, a new way to solve some challenges. One of my performance enhancement tools, one of my people engagement tools, and today I have one which is very much around performance and outcomes. It's called BudgetRevers. Okay, so let's go onto Cube and see what we can find. So we're in my executive cubicle. And Quentin Cubot has been visiting. You can see him sitting very uncomfortably on that chair. But of course, we're on Cube where the sun is always shining. So let's go and have a look at what we got. To swing around, let's see what we got. Okay, so BudgetRevers. Most of you will know what happens when organizations put together a budget, or they're running a project, or they're spending money on something. What generally happens is you start off with an idea of the money which you're going to spend. There's a business case or something like that. And then what you discover is that actually you need a little bit more. Something has gone wrong, a contingency is required. I don't know. But that's quite a common thing. And most organizations sort of panic. The way they panic is they end up spending more money, or they end up discussing, how will we get our decent contingency and stuff like that. Now, I'm quite lucky because of two things. One is I learned how to fly in my 30s. This is Quentin Smith. It's not the best photograph of him, but he's the guy who flew down to the South Pole and the North Pole with a single engine helicopter. And he's the guy who taught me how to fly. When you learn how to fly, you discover things like, oh, I've got less fuel than I thought I had. This is the plan I had originally. I'm not going to be able to stick to that plan. I can pretend to stick to that plan, but if I stick to that plan, I will die. So it shifts your mindset into the art of the capable. What can I do with what I have? How do I rebuild the future so that it doesn't upset the present? Okay, I don't make myself into something which is more dangerous. And then the other thing which I've been lucky with is I like to have perspective on things. This is an old joke, and it says objects might be closer than you think. So let's understand what BudgetRevers is. So what happens in most situations is you have your plan. I don't know, we're going to build a new factory. Let's pretend it's a factory. So you've got your factory, you're going to try and build, and you've got your plan, and this is your timeline. And on your timeline, you decided you're going to carry out certain activities. I'll do the activities in green. We're going to build the foundation. These are our activities, and we're going to spend money. So the money spent is going to woo, wee, woo, woo, and that's it. And if we spend that right amount of money, then our whole business case works, and we end up with a bag of money. Okay, it's a bag of money. Should have done that in yellow, shouldn't I? Yellow is a better color for a bag of money. Now it looks like a bag of fire. Okay, but unfortunately what happens is something goes wrong, so it does that. Okay, and you are sitting about here, and you can see the problem coming. And often what happens is there's lots of discussions about how do we get the budgeting for this, and what do we do, and how do we... Okay, it's very simple. What you do is you look at all the things further down the track, a little bit like I was describing the flying, and say, do these things really need to happen? And if you've done one of my other pets, which is called Chunk It, you would have broken your whole journey into effort and benefit, where basically you're thinking about each step as effort and benefit. And if you've done a good bit of chunking, you'll know that as you get further into the future, the chunks get shallower. So cutting out some of these later things is not as much of a disaster as you might imagine it could be. Okay, so that's what you do with the BudgetRevers. You literally sit around together with your stakeholders and you go, right, okay, where have we overspent? We've overspent in our current software, blah, 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 blah. Great. Okay. So if that's it, what things have we not started? List all the key chunks you haven't started yet. Oh, we haven't started the familiarization calls. You haven't done. Okay, great. Then two questions. Can we save money? Is it possible? Oh, no, this is a contingent thing. We must do it this way. Are you sure we can't save money? Well, we could do it electronically. Okay, well, let's think about that. Is it easy to save money? Yes, no, yes, no. Well, actually, yes, it is. We could just make sure people do it while they're driving to work. Okay, great, fantastic. So if we choose to do this particular action, it has that impact. So what you do is you list the current things which are not working. Then you look into the future as to what chunks are coming next. And then you basically ask yourself if it's possible, if it's easy. And the things which are easy and possible, do them. Change the future in order to take the pressure off today. So that's how you reverse your budget. It's relatively straightforward. The reason it doesn't happen is because people get into a blame game. Who's made it late? Instead of concentrating on how to resolve it, they concentrate on who made it bad. That's it. Go off, never overspend again. I've been Eddie Obeng. Quick guide, qb.cc/quick guide, pets, not quick guide, pets / and then BudgetRevers, and you'll find it there. Or I'll tell you what, just be lazy. Subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll get all the quick vids which come through with this. See you again.